What's up, what's up, what's up? This is your man, the STL Stranger, Umar Lee, joining you tonight. And I want to give a review of Who Killed Malcolm X on Netflix. A very powerful 6-episode docuseries on Netflix. I want to first say that this series is a product of the long, decades-old hard work of a Muslim brother in Washington, D.C. named Abdur-Rahman Muhammad, who has been a friend of mine for years. And there's many times during this docuseries where I got emotional. There's many times where I came to tears watching this, because I know the work that Abdur-Rahman put in to this project. I know the love of Malcolm that Abdur-Rahman Muhammad had in his heart. And I really think that Abdur-Rahman was like an ambassador for Muslim Americans who have been moved, and for African Americans who have been moved by the story of Malcolm, and used that love to search for the truth. So this was an emotional experience for me. It was an experience where I was moved to tears on multiple occasions. I'm not going to rehash the whole life of Malcolm because, we've read the autobiography, we've read Manning Marable's book. We all know that Malcolm has had a tremendous influence on many of us. I just want to address the Who Killed Malcolm X on Netflix. I encourage everyone to watch it. It was powerful. It takes you back in time to that time period in 1964, 65, where tensions are rising within the Nation of Islam, where tensions are rising, and eventually that leads to the death of Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz. But of course, we saw it with the Hanafi massacre in Washington, D.C. We saw it with the Masjid Yassin massacre in Brooklyn. And we saw it in some other places, including in St. Louis. When animosity and jealousy and infighting and envy get to that level, violence can happen. It's happened in the American Muslim community on multiple occasions. And being an insular community is a community where a lot of us don't talk, or those that know don't talk. So it's hard to get a lot of these stories out there. So it took a lot of hard work from Abdur-Rahman and the rest of the crew at Netflix to get this out. I believe that Abdur-Rahman struggled, sacrificed financially, sacrificed his personal life to get this story out there. And I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers on this, but let's just say all those people with Malcolm X hats and Malcolm X t-shirts. And I remember I was a teenager walking, a girl way out in St. Charles County, suburbs of St. Louis, had asked me to come out to her house, and I had a Malcolm X t-shirt, and some guy pulled over. Hey, what the fuck you wearing a Malcolm X shirt for? And then this is in the early 90s. That Malcolm X speaks so powerful and motivates people. But at the end of the day, did Malcolm really have that many friends? Because many of the people that profess love for Malcolm broke bread with his killers within years. Forgot about Malcolm. They may have used some quotes still, but they were cool with his killers. And what you may or may not see is the dysfunction of the criminal justice system, number one. Number two, the tactics of the FBI and NYPD, which monitors Muslims, which monitors African Americans, which we have the COINTEL program that targeted black leaders, a fear of a black messiah, as they put it, combined with organizational jealousy and infighting and violence. And one of the beautiful things about the Muslim community is the tight brotherhood, the tight sisterhood, that we sacrifice for each other, we do for each other, we hold each other's secrets, etc., etc. But that can also be sometimes our downfall, as this Who Killed Malcolm X shows, that In other words, if one of us kills somebody, we may keep it on the hush. If the wrong person goes to jail, we may keep it on the hush. We may know what happened, but we may not want to go to the non-Muslim, the kafir, the kuffar law enforcement to share that information. All of this is discussed or alluded to in Who Killed Malcolm X. And in it, you get the great clips of Malcolm, some of the great speeches of Malcolm, some Dr. Betty Shabazz interviews with her, family life. You get to see so much, and it's really a worthwhile piece. If you love Malcolm, I recommend that you watch this. My only critique of it would be, I don't think Sean King needed to be in there. I would have preferred to see a African American Muslim woman in there, in place of Sean King, to offer her knowledge or scholarship. And this woke white dude Garrett, who wrote a book on Malcolm. I really no diss to him or his book, but I don't think he really gets Malcolm, and I don't think he should have been in anything. So that's my two critiques. But other than that, I loved it. All of us that love Malcolm should watch it. All of us inspired by his legacy should watch it. Many of you will learn some new info about the enemies of Malcolm. And he was hated by many, including some Muslims, including some people in NOI. And I actually had a chance to meet with some old heads years later who still hated Malcolm because, in their words, he disrespected the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and he had to go. So this thing where Malcolm was universally loved is not based in fact. During his lifetime, many Muslims didn't like him. Some hated him. Some had violent energy toward him. And there are quotes after his death that they should dig his body up and kill him again because he didn't die hard enough the first time. There was another quote, before he died, they should rip his tongue out and deliver it to the messenger. That was the kind of stuff that was going on. A lot of people claim to love Malcolm today, but not everybody loved Malcolm then. In a survey of African Americans at the time, he only had a 14% approval rating, and almost no white people liked him. Now, it's almost like MLK or Jesus or figures, conservatives, liberals, nationalists, progressives, many different camps, Muslims obviously, profess love for Malcolm. He's this universally revered and loved figure, but that was not what he was in 1965. And that's not what Dr. King was in 1968. So you'll learn a lot watching this film. I encourage it. And, to see Abdur-Rahman Muhammad with his son at the end was very heartwarming. And to see the sacrifices that my friend Abdur-Rahman made, I want to just reach out to you and tell you that how I identify with that, because, there's been many times where I've been doing stuff and I've been featured in the media or, in the Muslim blogosphere or Muslim events, etc. And people think you're getting paid. And you may not only have $10 in your account, $20 in your account. Trying to say, you got to struggle day to day, struggling with the rent every month, struggling with child support, struggling with this, struggling with that. And it's a struggle, but you keep this work going. You keep this work going of trying to bring analysis, to try to bring your activism, to try to bring your contribution to this thing. And you struggle personally for it. I try to say, when a lot of people say, man, why don't you just go get a regular 9 to 5 and, just, worry about yourself and your family, which is not bad advice at all. But when I look at it, I think of Abdur-Rahman, all the struggle he did. This man was a Howard University history grad. All the struggle he did to bring this story to life. And all the sacrifice he had to go through and his family had to go through. So I say that to say, whenever there's an opportunity to support these grassroots journalists and researchers and historians and podcasters and storytellers to take that opportunity, if you can, to donate to them, support them, donate to their Patreons or whatever it is, and donate to them if you appreciate this work, if you appreciate the work of Abdur-Rahman Muhammad, if you appreciate my work, if you appreciate other people's work, show that appreciation, because many of these stories, Rise and Fall of the Salafi Dawah that I wrote, book I'm working on now, many of my other pieces, particularly in the Muslim community, no one else will touch it. No mainstream media outlet will touch it. If they do, it's going to be watered down and just milk toast. It's not going to be the haq. But when you got somebody like Abdur-Rahman giving you the haq, out of love for who we all say we love, Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, the American Hussein, the American martyr, show your appreciation to that. Show him your love. If you can't give him money, just hit him in the inbox. Say, brother, I really appreciate what you did. Brother, keep up the good work. Brother, we love you. Brother, you in our prayers. That's what I'll say. Anyway, check it out on Netflix. Thumbs up. Peace.